welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some games that I think would make great Christmas gifts. So if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool and lifestyle content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into it. All right, so I have several games that are just fun games to play no matter what. And then I have a category for homeschool games. So those are a little bit more educational types of games and stuff like that. And for some of these games, I asked my kids what they prefer, what were their favorite ones. So I'll try to point those out as I go along. If I even remember, several of them gave the same game and I was like, oh, okay, really? But we're gonna go through sort of rapid fire and go through these. And obviously I'm filming this before we left for Africa. If you didn't know, we have left for Africa, but some of these things are just easier to do before we left. So I filmed a few things prior to that. So hopefully we're still surviving because we're not there yet. So I don't know how it's going. You probably know better than me. Now at this point, if you follow on Instagram or have been following my Substack or things like that. But I'm gonna go through it and mention some of these games. They'd be great for Black Friday deals, for any other Amazon Prime deals that they might have going on during the holiday season. So let's get into it. The first one is my favorite, just fun game to play. And I only recently played it for the first time and realized I really liked it. And it's this Tetris game. I think it's so fun. And I mentioned this recently in another video, but I think part of it is nostalgic for me, like just growing up playing Tetris on the computer. And I just really enjoyed it. And I was really good at it. I will say I beat all my kids. Well, the three that I was playing with, I beat them pretty soundly too. So that's a really fun one, you know, and it has like the little game board and you're putting the pieces. It's not exactly the same, obviously, as the computer game, but it's still really cool. And then another fun one is Ubongo. And there's several versions of this. I think all of them would be good, especially for like a puzzling person, like a puzzling mind type of person. That sounds really weird, but anybody who likes to put together puzzles, this is also a good homeschool type game because it's like STEM related, logic related, and stuff like that. But this one is 3D, which I actually like better. It's a little easier visually for me to do with the 3D pieces. They have some that are 2D. They have extreme ones. There's all sorts of really fun options. And my favorite thing, I don't know if this is true for all of them. I know it's true for this one, is that it has cards for varying like skill levels. And so if you're playing with multiple people in your family that are varying ages, which is another reason why it's great for homeschool, you can give them a card according to their skill level. There's 4 different cards, and then everyone can enjoy playing as much as possible. My kids still get upset sometimes if someone's winning all the time. But one of my sons is really good at it. So it's like, give you the hardest ones. And then the youngest, like my 8-year-old is the youngest that plays, give her the easiest ones, right? Because then she at least feels like she's accomplishing something and participating, and they can build up to harder ones. So they still can participate and have a really good time, which I appreciate. Another one that everyone really enjoys is Drop It. This one's really fun. It has sort of a Tetris-y feel, but isn't exactly the same as Tetris. We actually took this to our neighbors a couple years ago, maybe. I can't even remember for sure. And they really enjoyed it. So they went and bought one because it was so fun. I do like that this is easy to play and still have a discussion with people. Some games you can't, right? You have to be so like focused in to be able to play them. But this one you can still talk and be like, okay, now it's my turn and stuff like that. You don't have to be so focused or you'll miss something, you know? And so my kids really enjoy that. It's really easy. You're just dropping the pieces. And if they land a certain spot or whatever, you might get double points and things like that. And then I know nothing about this game, but it's my kids' favorite. It's a Pokemon Labyrinth game. When I went to ask them what their favorite games were to play, they all said this game. And one of my daughters said she likes it, my oldest daughter said she likes it the most because she always beats the younger daughter. That's why it's her favorite. So anyway, that was super funny to me. I don't even know what it's about, but they love Pokemon and they love this game. I will hopefully it's on Amazon. I didn't check. We didn't buy this. I'm pretty sure my mother-in-law gave it to us. I can't even remember for sure where we got this game, but we have it. And when I asked like all 4 of my older kids, this was their favorite game, which was hilarious. And then another favorite, which I didn't bring up because I think the box is falling apart, is Clue, which my oldest daughter, again, said she loves that game because she always wins, which can't be said of a lot of games for her. But she really loves it because she always wins. But I think just being able to think through the process, she's really good at that. We also got the dice one. It's smaller to take with us to Africa. We never actually played it, so I don't know if we'll like it, but I got some small games to take with us. So we probably will have played it by the time this video goes up, but we're gonna try that one out and see because that's one of her favorite games. My oldest son mentioned Yahtzee as a game he really likes to play. I think he just enjoys the process of rolling the dice. He wins sometimes and he doesn't win other times. You know, it's not like he's consistently winning. This, I feel like, becomes slightly easier as you get older because you start to understand the strategy. There's still a lot of chance going on, but you understand better maybe where to put things than you do when you're young and playing it and just rolling the dice. And so he mentioned this, so I thought I would mention it as well. This is another game that people just love, and it's called Build Up. This is one my husband will take to church activities. He works with like the 11 and 12-year-old boys, and they all really love playing this game. It's super fun. It's one my kids pull out when like friends are over and stuff. So Build Up is a really fun, good idea for a game as well. And then I have 2 more in this just kind of general category I wanted to mention that my kids are loving. These are newer games, so they haven't played them a whole lot. But the first one is the Hues and Cues game. And my kids have played this a lot when we first got it. They haven't played it as much like in the last month, but before that they were pulling it out all the time. And it's just really fun, you know, trying to guess the color. They have to think like, oh, it's sort of like this color or something. And then everybody puts their little card where they think like, oh, blueberry. What would a blueberry be colored? And so they put it there and then see whoever's closest and stuff. I haven't actually played it. I think my husband played with them. He was trying to help them come up with some more names for things, but they really enjoyed that. And then another one that I also mentioned recently is Plunder. This box is so heavy. This is an expensive game, so if it does go on sale, that would be a good time to get it. And this, I would say it's kind of similar to Catan in the idea of it. I personally like Catan better. I've only played Plunder once though, so I can't say that like that's a completely honest, true, valid, you know, well-tested opinion. Playing Catan several times in this once, you know, that would not be a good study. That would not fly. But this one, my son and my oldest son really likes to play, and it has really, really cool ships in it. Because again, I think a lot of them like to play it because it's about pirates. And I think it's hard because it's more complicated than Catan. There's more things that can be done and stuff. So there's these little ships, there's different colors, but they're just so cool. And the board is beautiful. It's a very, very pretty game, and they have a fun time playing it. Again, I think a big part of it is because it's about pirates. But since it has more things you can do, it's a little bit more complicated. And so maybe if I played it more, I would like it, but I still like Catan better. Okay, and then educational games. I did not ask my kids specifically to pick educational favorites. I just picked out a few that we play more than not, or that I think are cool, because some of them we don't play a ton. One of them is Sumology. I'm like, I should have put these category, like math, language arts. Maybe we'll still do that. But this one reminds me of Scrabble, but math style. I have another math game that's more Scrabble style as well. And so these are just fun games. This is an expensive game. Like you wouldn't think it is, but it is. I think it's because the pieces are wood, and like this is a pretty hefty box. And then you just go through and you can practice, right? You use your tiles to create a valid equation that connects to the other tiles on the table. And so that's just a fun thing to play. And then I also appreciate how it could be adapted. Like if you were playing with someone that only knew addition and subtraction, go through and take out the division and multiplication signs, right? And just play those others. Or it could be a way to teach them if they're starting to become familiar. You could talk through the problems with them and have like a parent help younger kids while the older kids are doing it by themselves. So there's lots of different options. And then this one is similar but different. It has more of the like Scrabble type board and then the points, right? So this doesn't. In that way, it's kind of like dominoes, but this one does have a board that you get more points if you land on certain spaces. But again, you're doing it with math equations instead of letters. You're not making words, you're making math equations. So cross math is what that's called. And that one's also a lot of fun. And then another math game, I think I have a couple. I like math. So Prime Climb I've mentioned in the past. I don't feel like I've mentioned it as much recently. This one has it has math, obviously. It has addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication, but again, can be adapted according to kids' needs. So if they go through, so the board looks like this, it's a big spiral, and they're going through and trying to, like, if you divide this number by this, where does that put you on the board? And you're trying to get to the middle, I believe. It's been a while since I played this game. But if some kids don't know how to divide or use multiplication, that's fine. They might not do as well in the game because some things, it's easier to figure out the problems if you know those things, but they can still play even if they know just simple addition and subtraction. So those are a few math games that we really like. Another game that I would classify under math as well is Racco. So this one is because, you have to know the numbers, like just basic counting. So this is nice for younger kids too, learning where numbers go. But this is a game my kids actually pull out quite a bit, surprisingly so. And then you just put them in there and you're trying to get them all in a row and you have to like trade them out and stuff like that. And they think it's a lot of fun. So that's another like math game for kids learning numbers. And then a few like language artsy games. One of them is Word on the Street. I just think this is a really well done game. We don't play it a lot. I need to be better about playing educational games. We have a lot of good ones. I just sometimes, just with all the things, I'm just like, the last thing I want to do is pull out a game and play with my kids. But I know not everybody's the same as me, but that's just how I am. And so Word on the Street is really fun. They have a junior version, which we have also. I think, so this one says ages 10 to adult. That one I think is age 7 to adult. So it's just a little bit more simplified, but they build words and it's just a lot of fun. I think the idea, you're on a team and you're trying to think of words. It like gives you a card or whatever that says like a country in Asia. So you're trying to come up with a country that can get the most letters moved. And so it's just a really fun game. Another one that's new to us, I've had a couple kids play it, is or isn't. And this is for synonyms and antonyms. And my son and daughter said they really enjoyed playing it. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's something that they really liked, so I thought I would mention it. All right, so I have 2 more games to mention. The first one is Catan. This is Catan Junior. Catan works too. We have that one as well. But I put this in the educational one because it's an economics game, which Plunder probably could be considered that too. But my husband is an economist, and so he loves that the kids play this. They were actually just playing it this morning, and then they were playing Catan right after. So they played the junior version and then the normal version. And it's just a lot of fun to go through. And this one also is nostalgic for me because it's been around for a while. I played it as a teenager. And then the other one is the trivia challenge game. So there's geography, there's science. Those are the 2 we have. I feel like there's another one. Maybe it's with animals. I don't remember. Anyway, and this one is a lot of fun. It has different categories. And so know it, name it, and rank it. And my kids vary on the categories they like. I don't think any of them like the rank it ones. Those ones are kind of hard when it's like I'm trying to think, mountain peaks maybe, like which ones are the tallest, and you have to put them in order, or which thing is the fastest. And sometimes it's a little bit tricky, even if you're like, the cheetah is the fastest on land, but then it gives you something that's really fast in the air. And so we have the science and geography one, and we go through them sometimes, and it's nice to have like a review type of game and just something fun and simple to pull out. All right, so those are some games that I think would make great Christmas gifts, whether just for a family gift, for your homeschool, whatever it is. We like to generally do games for Christmas. I'll get a few individual gifts for kids, but then also family games. This year's different, but generally that's what we usually do. And so we'll get a few more games, and it's just a really fun thing for my kids to get new games. So let us know down in the comments if there's any games you've gotten recently or over the years that you are just your tried and true games that you love to go to for either family game night or for using for homeschool. It'd be beneficial for all of us. We love collecting more games and playing new games. And remember to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.